There are two basic components to the Techne football system. One is the training app that your players will use. The training app can be downloaded in the App Store by any player all around the world. And first, I'll walk you through that. The second component to Techne Football, when you sign up for a group subscription, is the Techne Football Group Manager portal. And that's where you, as a staff, will manage who gets access to use the training app through your subscription, as well as track all your players' stats and data as they train. So first we'll walk through the training app. When a player signs up, they create a basic profile at the top. They will have an indication of their team and club. They can enter their playing position. As you can see here, the main metric we track in the middle is the amount of time that players have trained. So today, this week, this month, and overall. So as they train, they accrue time, and it's tracked here. And all players are part of our training sock system, which is kind of like the belt system in martial arts. You can see here that there's an indication of their training sock level. And when they reach a new sock level, they get a notification in the app, and they're eligible to redeem those socks in the Techne store. We also let players track their training streak, which is how many days they've trained 10 minutes or more in a row, to encourage consistency in their training, as well as some other stats that we help players track. Next here we have our time trial drills, which are a series of technical tests that players can test themselves on and record scores and track their improvement over time. So there are juggling, dribbling, and wall work time trial tests. And the way those work is you click on the test, you see a little demonstration video, you can read the description and how to score yourself. You press start to time yourself, you keep score as you go, and then you can record your score at the end and see your score history as well as your progress over time. So we encourage players to test themselves on these time trials when they start using the app, and then over time as they train to track their improvement. They can also compete with their teammates in terms of their scores on leaderboards on these time trials. Each week, there's a new weekly training session that goes live in the app. It starts with a little bit of a lesson, so maybe a quote or some inspiration on the process of mastery to get the players motivated for the week of training ahead, some notes on kind of what to be thinking about and how to do the session. So as we know, technical training and training on your own is very much so about how you do what you're doing and not just what you're doing. Each weekly session is comprised of juggling, dribbling, and wall work drills. And the way these drills work is that you click on the drill, say you're by a wall and you want to go through the wall work a couple times. You watch the demonstration video. Maybe you say this is either too easy or too hard. You can adjust the difficulty of many of the drills. And then once you know what to do, you click 1, 2, or 3 minutes, and the app times you doing the work and adds that time to your training log. So that is how your time is accrued. We give everybody access to the 2 previous week's sessions, a shooting training session, a living room training session to do at home, mental training, and there's also a goalkeeping component for your goalkeepers. We also have something where players can plan out when they're going to do their training during the week, so they can select which days they'll train, for how long, and at what time, and they get a little push notification to remind them to do their training. So we're helping the players to develop the accountability, consistency, and discipline as they go. The component that ties all this together are Techne leaderboards. So we have app-wide leaderboards, as well as leaderboards where your players can see who's doing what in their club, as well as sorting it by their team. We keep stats all time, monthly, and weekly for the players. So that kind of takes you through the training app itself. I'm now going to show you the group manager portal, which is where you will manage your group subscription. So the first steps as you sign up for your account is that you'll be asked to list your teams. It's very simple. You just put it in a list of your team names. That's step 1. If you just have one team, you can skip that step, but for a lot of clubs, you can list all your teams out here. You can then upload a spreadsheet list of any managers or coaches who you want to have access to the app. We have a couple different categories here. You can allow someone to have admin access, which means they can view all teams in the account, or you can restrict access to a coach's single team or teams that they work with. You can do this through a spreadsheet upload if you have a lot of coaches on your staff. Next, you'll upload the player lists. Similarly, it's a simple spreadsheet upload. You can download a spreadsheet template, plug in your players' information, and then upload the file here. You can also, at any time, add single players to the system. We have the capability to edit your players' information, so you can change the email or team associated with their account, as well as remove the player from your group at any time. So you have full control over who gets access through your subscription. As players start to train, you'll view their time trained on our leaderboards, which you can sort by team. You can filter by just the year to date, monthly, or this week's session. And on our dashboard, you have a lot more information in terms of how your players are using the app, including the number of players who have registered for their accounts, total time trained, how many players are actually training, all time this week, last week, and last month. So you can sort all these stats by time period. You can sort them by team, and we give you access to see who's training, what training they're doing, as well as a breakdown by team. So you can see how much each team is training, which drills players are doing, and if any of your players have a training streak they've accrued, you can view it there. The management system gives you access to a lot of information. You can use as much or as little of it as you want, but the whole idea is that you can use this information to set very clear expectations for your players in terms of how much you want them to be using the app, and then to follow up and praise the players who are doing the work that you had suggested. So each week you'll receive an email summary of the players who have trained the previous week on your team or teams, or if you're an admin, you'll receive the full list. And you can use that list to post a weekly leaderboard for your group, or to basically praise the players who are doing the work that you asked and going above and beyond in training on their own. And we've noticed that the single most important thing you can do as coaches is to be engaged, give your players a clear indication of what you want them to be doing on their own, how much you'd like them to be training, and then praise the players who have done what you asked.